Hey guys, Bugadet here. And it turns out a lot of you really liked my Breachers VR video. I mean, it got over 2.6 thousand views in about a day, which is real crazy, especially since my Medic video for TF2 got 3.8 thousand views in only 4 days, which is again crazy. You guys are so awesome. Anyways, since you guys did really enjoy the Breachers VR video, I decided to make a new video on how to play Breachers VR. There are 3 main stages of every round in Breachers VR. There's, of course, the breaching, the planting, and the cleanup. Or, if you're on the defending team, the waiting, the spawn camping, and the trash talking. Now, let's talk about the prep phase that each team has. Each team gets about a minute to prep and plant their traps, or grapple on the sides of buildings, and find out where they want to breach/plant the traps. So right now on the Enforcers menu, you see you have a very standard buy menu. Now the weapons are all the same across both sides, so you don't feel like you're getting an advantage on being on one side or the other. However, the thing that does change is the gadgets. You have 7 gadgets on the Enforcers team, and you have 8 gadgets on the Revolters team. And the gadgets on both teams are vastly different, except for the top 4 slots, which are almost always taken up by grenades, heal syringes, and maybe 1 or 2 incendiary grenades. On the bottom half of the buy menu for the gadgets, you see the team-specific ones. Things such as the drones and cloaking devices can only be used by the Enforcers and not the Revolters. Likewise, the proximity sensors and door blockers can only be used by the Revolters because they can walk through the doors. Now let's talk about some movement. Sure, you've already noticed by now, but you can rappel and grapple up the sides of buildings. Simply walk over to it with an open hand, hold trigger until the light goes green, and then release to release your grapple. You can climb up by moving the analog stick as you would walking forward, or I like to imitate that I'm climbing because it feels more immersive. Now, once the buy phase is ended and your gun has been unlocked, you're ready to breach. So, you simply take the gun, and you just kind of bash the window. And then for vaulting into the window, you put your hand on the seal that you want to open, or that you want to vault into, and you wait until you see that little gray bubble appear. You grab onto it, and then make the vaulting motion so you vault inside. Now, some more advanced things to worry about is your sprinting and walk speeds both make your footsteps very loud, and your enemies can hear your footsteps. That's why you see in some clips I'm crouching, because crouching makes you basically invisible to the human ear. And most players just don't expect you to be crouching and being completely silent. The next thing I'd like to talk about, which will be kind of short, is the HUD, or the heads-up display. Now, there isn't really that big of a heads-up display unless you're in the buy menu, but for heads-up display, if you look at your watch, you can see your health, how much time you have left until the bomb detonates, the orientation with a built-in compass, and how many of you and the enemies are still alive, as well as a little green circle indicating your health, which I already talked about, but could be refilled later using stims. Now, for when you're actually playing the game, the initial objective is to just plant the EMP or kill everyone while trying to do so, and if you're on the defending team, stop the enemy team from planting at all costs, even if that means killing. Now, to put it simply, just ping the location by pressing A, or actually no, just ping the location by pressing B on your controller, or X on your other controller. And you can ping the location of places that people might have breached from, players, EMPs, weapons, and so forth. It's like spotting people in games such as Battlefield. Now, what does pinging do? Well, you can ping people even when you're in spectator mode. Now, even though you can't see the enemies in spectator mode, unless some of your buddies is looking at the enemy, it's still very nice to let people know that, hey, this is where I got killed, make sure to be cautious around here. Now let's talk about the guns. Both teams get the same number of guns and the same type of guns no matter what team you're on, so you don't have to feel worried about picking the wrong type of gun for the wrong type of team, as they're all the same. The pistols really only matter if you're on the pistol round, so I feel like going with the Jesper is already a good choice since it already has a decent magazine size and good damage. Now, for the SMGs, assault rifles, and shotguns, it's a whole different territory with these. You want to pick the top ones of each category if you're trying to be cheap, unless it is the Knut, which I like to call
His coconut gun can fire in spurts. If he shoots ya, it's gonna hurt.
Get it? Coconut, like the name of the first shotgun. Anyways, so for the shotguns, you have the Knut and the Uricon, and for the SMGs, you have the Omen, the Viper, and the RCP. And for the assault rifles, going from the cheapest to most expensive, you have the Cadillo, the Auril, the Vezin, and finally the Mari. Now the Vezin and Mari are both the same price, and so is the Cadillo and the Auril. However, each gun varies differently in their stats, which we'll get into later. But for now, if you don't want to waste time on trying to pick a weapon, just pick whichever one you like or have the money for. If you feel a little flashy, maybe pick one of the more expensive ones. Anyways, that's just about it for all the beginner tips on how to play Breachers VR. You can find a link to the Discord down in the description with videos and detailed steps on how to download the game for free. It's currently free right now in open alpha, and once it goes paid, you'll all have to pay for it, like it or not. But anyways, that's about it, so yeah, bye. Hey, made it to the outro. 2 videos in roughly the same time. Wow, I must be killing it. I kind of am. Thanks for 350 subscribers. Maybe 400 by Christmas? I don't know. Bye.